Let's do this. Hey, everybody. How we doing? Yeah, let's wake up. This has been a really, really cool conference. I don't know about you, but I've been like sitting on the edge of my seat in all of these panels and keynotes, just fired up like, yes, I love that you just said that. Oh, I don't agree with that. And like, then I'll find myself being like, oh, I gotta say something about that. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I have my own panel. I have an hour and 15 minutes to tell you what I think about all of this right now. So thank you all so much for coming here. It's gonna be a blast. I just wanna be clear, I did not choose the title for this session, Going Viral with Matt Shearer. No shade if the person who did is in this room. I just want to be clear. If you're here thinking that I'm going to give you like the answer on how to go viral and stuff, the answer is who effing knows? You know, it's just like if there was one formula or something to going viral, everyone would be doing it and no one would be viral, right? Because that's something you simply can't control. I was talking to Rob about this earlier over lunch. Like, the best thing you can possibly do is just tell a great story and let the people do with it what they will. So I'm going to get into my background and all that. But first, I'll play for you a video I did from last year that went viral, just to kind of set up for those who aren't familiar with me, the types of stories I do in and around Boston. Oh, and quick note on accessibility. Up until early last year, I made the stupid mistake of not adding manual captions to a lot of my videos and relying on the built-in platforms captions. So if that's an issue for any of you, please let me know after this and I'll happily send you links so you can watch them with captions.
You ever seen those exit doors inside of the tunnels?
Of course you have. They're all over the place.
But have you ever wondered what's behind those doors? Let's find out. Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Great.
This is Jonathan Gulliver, the head honcho of highways, the car czar, the master of Massachusetts Main
State Highway Administrator.
That's fine. I actually met him above ground at MassDOT's Highway Operations Center, which looks like a supervillain's hideout. There are 1,200 cameras all across the state of Massachusetts here, and they're watching.
We do get bikes in the tunnels once in a while.
Yep.
They get people walking through the tunnels. They're not supposed to be in there.
But that's exactly what we're gonna do. Going down? The tunnels can all be accessed via vent buildings.
They're all over the place. A lot of them are just, they just become part of the landscape. Nobody even notices them there.
Others really stand out, like this one. Shout out to artist Pro Black. And this is New England, so I've never seen so many giant fans
that drive all the air in and out.
Hello. Now, I'm 6'3", of an inch, so these things are probably around 20 feet tall, and these underground rooms are almost the size of airplane hangars.
Reverb!
And the shafts are cold and dark. Shout out to my lighting crew here. Other rooms are lit and have things like emergency generators and water pumps, but of course the main door we came down here for. So some observations. The sidewalks feel soft from all the dust and whatever else gets kicked up, and they do clean the tunnels every couple weeks, otherwise you might not notice the color coding.
Brown tiles, that means that we're in an area that has earth above it. Blue tiles, it means you're underwater.
Plus, if you need to make a quick escape, you're not gonna care how dirty the door may be, but you may find comfort in knowing that there are elevators back here.
Hopefully people see there's a lot more behind these tunnels than just a roadway. No radioactive turtles, though.
No. From the sidewalk in the O'Neill Tunnel, I'm Matt Shearer. For more on the underground, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Listen to Traffic on the Threes. That's the quickest source of information.
The radio station there. Every 10 minutes, traffic and weather on the three. So, thank you. So, I played this at another school where I was presenting for a journalism class, and the professor, who's a very celebrated, established, wonderful journalist, he immediately asked the question, now, was that journalism or was that entertainment? And it's funny, like, okay, fine, fair question, but also, like, why can't it be both, right? And this is going to be a theme that I come back to over and over throughout this conversation is, like, storytelling is the oldest form of art there is. Just a bunch of people sitting around a campfire sharing stories for the purpose of entertaining one another. And journalism is storytelling. Let's not lose that artistic element. It's kind of silly to think that something like that could be considered art. Like, look at me and my art. But, like, it is. I mean, like, at the end of the day, everything that we do, this room was designed by an artist, right? All of these tables and chairs, everything was designed by an artist. So it touches everything we do, and it should absolutely touch what we do in journalism. And now, it also, a different art form was the 100% the reason that I got into this line of work and doing what I do, which is skateboarding. This is me at 14 years old, skateboarding in my hometown of Acton, Massachusetts. And yeah, and so it affected my career both directly and indirectly. Fart jokes. Directly because my friends and I, there was a little high school radio station where I grew up. We decided to start a radio show called Skate Talk. And so we would get together and talk about like trick tips and cool spots in town and review new skateboards and stuff like that. And so there I was at 14 years old, having decided what I wanted to do with my life. And now I'm in my 30s and I'm still doing it. So I've just been like laser focused on that ever since. And I haven't changed a bit, if you couldn't tell. So I just, yeah, but indirectly because skateboarding as an art form rewires your brain in a way that I don't think a lot of other people see the world. You start to see the world for not what it is, but what it can be. Like, this isn't just a desk here. If I had my skateboard, maybe I could pop up and do a frontside no slide on this, right? Maybe I could, do something over that chair over there. Like, you're just seeing the world differently. And how can I use that chair in a way that other people, for more than just sitting in it, right? And so I want to approach everything I do with that same mentality. I ended up going to Emerson College right down the street. I graduated, worked in talk radio first. Then I was producing a morning show on a top 40 station, doing a lot of entertainment style bits, going out on the street pranks. Oh, hey, what do you think of this? Ooh. And then the pandemic happened, and that station shut down, and I was out of work, and it was a scary time. I had a new baby at home. Like, how am I going to pay for this baby? But I got a call from one of the few stations that was hiring in town, which is WBZ NewsRadio. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense why a station like BZ would still be hiring in the middle of a pandemic, people tuning in for information. Also, it was an election year, so they needed more people in the room. And I was like, well, I've never been a reporter before. I don't know if I could do this. But what they told me that really convinced me and sold me on the job was that they weren't just looking for another journalist with a capital J. You know, they had enough of that in the newsroom. They wanted somebody who could come in and think a little bit different. And I'm like, damn it, I'm in. That sounds awesome. Let's go. And so I kind of went into this weird environment with all these people who had been working in this newsroom for decades, who do really amazing journalism and amazing work. And I'm this guy. And like, I need to figure out like, oh my gosh, well, I got to leverage my strengths. You know, my audio production background, I'm really confident in. So I was like, I'm going to produce my pieces up to sound like really, really cool. And then about a year into the job, my boss was like, hey, we want you to start doing TikTok. I'm like, oh my God, I'm already spending so much time on these like really cool sounding audio packages. Like, how am I going to find time to add video on top of all that? And I'm also picturing us, like, keep in mind, we're like a 100-plus-year-old AM radio newsroom. I did not think that the TikTok crowd would think it was cool if, like, our anchor was doing dances in the newsroom and stuff and trends. I was like, trends are not going to work for us. Like, it absolutely worked for the Washington Post. They crushed it. It would not work for us. But what I realized, we're telling stories, compelling stories on the radio in like 45 seconds or less. That's exactly what these platforms are built for. So let's just take that audio, slap some video on top of it, and see what happens. So at first it was like really, really basic, boring stuff, just like, you know, an audio piece with B-roll, like, I don't know. But then we started to see some potential, right? 100 views there, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. The numbers just went up. When we hit our first million, I was like, okay, there's something going on here. And I started to get a little bit better about looking out for videos. I had to learn video editing on the fly, like, but I figured I could do that because, like, I come from the punk rock world, right? And if like the Ramones can change the world without knowing how to play their instruments, like I can do okay on TikTok without knowing how to edit video. And everything really started changing for me when a buddy of mine from the town of Billerica, Massachusetts, called me and said that one of 3 market baskets on the same road was about to close and the entire town was losing their minds about it. He was like, do you think this is a news story? I'm like, absolutely.
Billerica was like the capital of Market Massachusetts. They had one on Boston Road, another one on Boston Road, and also one on Boston Road. But now the one on Boston Road is closed as the landlord won't renew the lease.
I actually cried, and I cried walking down the aisles last week.
That's Peggy, a customer I found at the Market Basket on Boston Road.
So it felt like I lost a part of my family or something.
Maria's worried that all the customers from Boston Road will flood the location on Boston Road.
Well, that's going to make this one a heck of a lot busier, that's for sure.
And Carl's upset that he's going to have to start going to the one on Boston Road.
I don't like change. I told my kids that dinosaurs didn't become extinct by accident. They saw the future. They said, screw this, let's go to the top of it.
Bill, on the other hand,
If that's all they have to worry about in life, they're doing pretty good. That's all I can tell you. You kidding me?
from the mechanical horse in front of Market Basket, Matt Shearer, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
And so I posted that thinking no one outside of Massachusetts is going to care. No one outside of Billerica, especially. But next thing you know, it's like across the country, like people are reporting on it, largely in part thanks to my old classmate at Emerson, Ben Collins, who went on to work for NBC News, and now he owns The Onion, literally. He reposted it being like, this is the most Massachusetts news story of all time. And so that went viral, millions of views. And then a few months later, something funny happened in the comments section where somebody, there was a Dunkin' Donuts reference in one of my videos, and someone left a comment, is there a single town in Massachusetts that doesn't have a Dunkin'? I was like, that's a hilarious question. I do also really want to know the answer to that. Turns out there are a few of them, mostly out like way in the Berkshires. Martha's Vineyard doesn't have a Dunkin'. Like, yeah, like Cape, there's some towns on the Cape. It's crazy. So, but the closest one to me, I live in Framingham now, was in Stowe, Massachusetts. So I went to Stowe and just like real boots on the ground reporting. I'm out there, and as I'm walking around talking to people and looking in windows of abandoned storefronts, I recognized Dunkin' Donuts floor tile in one of the buildings. I was like, they had a Dunks here. What happened? Come to find out, they had two Dunks, and both of them had closed in a matter of months. And very similar to Billerica, the people lost their mind.
151 municipalities in Massachusetts and 1,073 Dunkin' locations. Billerica has 3 on Boston Road, but further down 495, the town of Stowe is a Dunkin' desert.
There is no more Dunkin' Donuts in Stowe.
Absolutely none.
Those bastards.
Up until this year, they had 2. Now they're both closed. Neighbors are handling it like you might expect.
Yeah, it sucks. There's nothing fun to do, and Dunkin' Donuts was the one place where everyone likes to go.
Bummed out.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I've been traveling further away to go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How far do you have to travel now?
over a mile and a half.
That's ridiculous.
These days, you got to go around to Hudson, you got to go to Sudbury, got to leave the state. I mean, not the state. You got to leave Stowe, though. It's terrible.
Some are finding refuge at the 2 Dunks in Maynard, much to the dismay of Maynardians like Michael.
Especially if people are coming from Stowe, they're going to come through here on their way to work, and then I get held up for work.
But back in Stowe, a town with an airport, 3 golf courses, and some horses, they just want solutions.
Don't live in Stowe anymore.
You think it's worth moving out because there's no Dunks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad. Sad for the people of Stowe. Oh, and for this bee.
I can help you. From the drive-thru, I'm Matt Shearer. For more Dunks drama, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio. Excuse me? So again, like a story I didn't think was going to get huge, but next thing you know, it's literally international news. Like the Daily Mail wrote up a thing on it, and like the Today Show. It wasn't on the Today Show, but Today.com had a whole piece, and like it was being written up everywhere and played everywhere. And people were asking me like, why do you think that people outside of Massachusetts care about this video? And I didn't have a great answer, but I guess maybe it's just because like, oh, we see people just like this on Saturday Night Live or in movies, and like all of a sudden, whoa, they're real. Like that's a real thing. But this is like the kind of story where like, if you live in a town like that and all of a sudden your 2 Dunkins are gone, it's like, that really does change your life, right? You got to change your morning routine, and it becomes a pain in the ass. And so you got to figure it out. So it's a very real story. I'm going to fast way forward now to just a few months ago. I got to say, after this story dropped, Dunkin' was really feeling the pressure to the point where they had to put out like a big PR press release statement to everyone being like, we value our customers in Stowe and hope they, and blah, 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 blah. And so sure enough, it put the pressure on them to really take action. And here is a follow-up from just a few months ago. 2 years ago, I found this town emotionally in shambles.
There is no more Dunkin' Donuts in Stowe.
Those bastards.
The people of Stowe lost both their Dunkins in a matter of months, and the news went around the world.
Yeah, it sucks. Dunkin' Donuts was the one place where everyone likes to go.
Yeah,
How far do you have to travel now?
over a mile and a half.
Because don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? It sucks.
It's awful.
If I drank more Dunkins, would my skin be less crepey?
And I am so sick and tired of America runs on sorry.
But every once in a while, they pave that parking lot and put up a paradise.
We're doing the demo for the Dunkin' Donuts that's coming up for the city.
Heard that right?
Dunkin' Donuts that's coming up for the city.
Ta-da!
We're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah.
One's coming back.
Yes.
Oh my God, where?
So that's where the old Dunkin' was. The new one is right there.
Yes! Are you serious? Stop it! This is the best news ever. I'm so excited.
How is this gonna change your life?
Probably won't.
But even the non-coffee people
Get over it, man. I mean, geez, you really flipped out about a Dunkin' Donuts?
are just excited to see something come of this building.
You guys gonna see inside right now.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I can't believe I get to explore an abandoned building today.
This used to be a restaurant, the old Beef and Ale, but it's been sitting vacant for 16 years. So seriously, stay out of the fridge. First things first, they gotta gut the place. They're gonna keep the structure the way it is and just give it new amenities. Like a farmer's porch with tons of seating and probably some new bathrooms.
Oh my God.
The thing I love about being in an abandoned place like this is think about how much life once happened here. First dates, celebration dinners. Which reminds me, there's someone I think will be throwing their own celebration here very soon.
Don't live in Stowe anymore.
You think it's worth moving out because there's no dumps?
Yeah.
Well, she still lives here, but
How you been?
Good, how are you?
her life's about to change.
It's coming back.
No way. That's wild. That's actually amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm really proud of everyone in Stowe who stayed and like made it through the whole Dunkin' Desert situation, and hopefully the Facebook moms will be happy now. They're saving our town.
You look like you want to jump up and...
Of course I do.
Then do it. Jump
Yeah, don't you air that either.
From a new beginning, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Message for the people of Stowe. Have a goal like I did when I died. You wonder why you're alive. I was dead. This whole life we're in could be a whole hallucination from somebody else. And I decided that the thing that I should try and do is make everybody a little happier. And have them smile on the day.
And you know what makes people smile?
No,
Dunkin' Donuts.
that's what I figured you were going to say.
So I love to throw in those little curveballs at the end, like no one knows what to expect, and that one obviously got really existential. It's funny, WBZ TV, the CBS affiliate here in town, likes to play my videos vertical and all, which is great. I'll like, yeah, absolutely. I sent this one to them. I'm like, just so you know, like there's this weird existential thing at the end. Like if you want to cut that out, I won't be offended. You might have noticed too, my videos have gotten longer over the years, and I'm still posting these to TikTok. Like that video was like 3 minutes long. Let's see, how long was that? It was really long. Yeah, 2:46, that's it. Felt longer. But the point is, I've had just as many videos go viral that are 45 seconds long as videos that are 3 minutes plus. My longest video that's like over 4 minutes long is sitting at like 500,000 views on Instagram alone right now. So I think just a good story is, at the end of the day, the most important thing. I was listening to a podcast recently with a musician talking about like songwriting and stuff. And, you know, there's some discussion in the music industry, oh, what's the perfect length for a song, right? And there's some famous quote that's like, oh, as long as it needs to be. And I think as long as the story needs to be, as long as you're keeping it interesting throughout and, you know, you're on a journey, it doesn't lag at any point, then that's the thing that matters the most. The most important thing to me in making that one was finding Elizabeth, the redhead who was saying like everyone should move out of Stowe because there's no Dunkin' Donuts. And it was hard. I was literally asking around. I was like, do you know this person? Until finally someone said yes, and they got me in touch. She's funny though. She was saying that she has some friends who graduated from high school, went off to college and are studying journalism, and had that original video played in their journalism class. And they text her like, I just saw you in my class. Which is so funny. I love that. The point is, it's because I love real people and real, like, I'm sure there are many journalists who would have covered this story who would have said, let's get Duncan on this. Let's ask the CEO of regional promotions, whatever, to come do an interview. But like, I don't care what those people say. Like, they're just going to talk like a press release anyways. And I care about the people who are really affected by this story, who have the most interesting things. So something happened one time when I was walking around downtown doing a story. And I was just, it was a kind of a boring man on the street type of thing. They wanted me to do something. No, it's National Whatever Day. Everyone does those stories. But I stopped into a little flower shop to get this guy's opinion on whatever. And I don't even think I asked him a question. I think I was like, what's your name? And he just started talking. Blah, 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 blah. And like, I was training someone that day. I literally just turned to her and I was like, scrap the other story. This guy is our story now. And it ended up just being a fun little feature on this local character who's been making flowers for years and kind of hates it.
Like being a bartender or a therapist, you are a therapist. Everyone tells you the problems that you don't want to know.
But that's the life of a florist, according to Chris Jackson of Robin's Flower Shop.
This is the greatest card message. Condolences. You're officially old. Love, the best thing that ever happened to you.
Cute.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and with the stress of Valentine's Day coming up, you might catch some colorful language from Chris.
Well, don't you have one of those buttons that go beep?
I do now.
Why can't you get a beep damn credit card number? You don't know your own beep credit card?
Who's this?
I don't know, some beep.
The shop's been here on Devonshire for almost 40 years. Chris came on board nearly a decade ago.
Actually, I went to school to be a funeral director, but that didn't work out because I made Grandma look like a drag queen one too many times, so they fired me.
Do you love your job, though?
Nobody loves their job.
Yeah, but I mean, you're around
like
flowers.
When you say I love you. It's like, come on. Then show it me with your bank account.
He's recently single.
Oh, I'm so much more happier.
Now you don't need to worry about Valentine's Day.
No, never did anyway.
I wonder why you're divorced.
I don't have a type.
No?
Type is with money. Around here? Oh, no, honey, you gotta go to Newton, you gotta go to Beacon Hill.
So what's your Valentine's Day advice for all the people out there, all the couples out there?
Break up. Turn it in for a better model.
In Boston, I'm Matt Shearer. For more great advice, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Look at this guy. He's gonna go down the one-way street. Yeah, go ahead with your VFW.
VFW?
Yeah, VFW.
Sure. I just love those organic, natural, amazing moments. Like, this guy had zero filter, and it's just so fun. And like, yeah, we're telling a story about somebody who kind of makes Boston what it is. He keeps the character alive. And I love stories about those too, those unique jobs and like, what's it like to have a job? The fact that people like trauma dump on their florist is hilarious to me. I also discovered that you can hire somebody to be your Tinder coach. Meaning, well, but let me phrase it like this. You can get paid to be someone's Tinder coach, to run their Tinder account for them. So of course I had to interview her.
Chanel Connor from Dorchester has a cool job.
I am a professional Tinder coach.
Basically, she gets paid to help the hopeless romantics.
Because like if you go on Reddit, for instance, you'll see like a lot of single guys being like, I get no matches on Tinder, I really need help.
And she's had a lot of success, so I wanted to see the process for myself. Only problem, I'm married, so I can't, but I do know a single guy.
Okay.
Well, Chris, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Chanel here.
People always name their kids after things they can't afford. Lexus, Porsche, Chanel.
As we learned from our first meeting, Chris from Robin's Flower Shop is very single.
Whatever it takes to get the most tax money back is what I am.
Do you like to travel?
Yeah, on somebody else's expense.
Does that sound like a good profile?
No, we'll change the wording a bit, I think.
After some tweaks.
Are you ready? I can make you laugh and make your day bloom. Comedian by night, florist by day. Swipe right if you're ready for some petals and punchlines.
That's pretty good.
Shakespeare, clever.
Do you have any pictures of you on your phone? Okay, you're only showing me half the picture.
Well,
so we took some new ones, then answered Tinder's questionnaire.
Bisexual? Yes, I will get sexual if you buy me something.
Are you liking this app so far?
Oh, sucks.
And finally, swiping time.
Nope. Oh, definitely not. Oh, yeah, we like that one too. Oh, God, no.
With that, it was time to leave him to it.
Chris says thank you.
Oh, no problem. Happy to help anytime.
He's so nice.
So there's still hope for him.
I think so.
We'll check back on that. From downtown, Matt Shearer, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
So I think I've brought Chris back like randomly in several videos. It's just, and I have like a whole cast of characters that I like to do that with. It's something no one else is doing, and I can kind of claim it as my own. And I love in the comment section, people call it the Matt Shearer cinematic universe. It's just so great. Like, you're watching a story, and I wonder what Chris thinks about this, you know, rather than just some random stranger on the street. I'll fast forward a little bit because there's some stuff to talk about with this one. This is my most recent video to go viral. I got invited to a wedding at Chuck E. Cheese, and I'll let the video tell the rest. Actually, I should give a little more backstory on this. What happened is one of the best things about my position right now, and the fact that I have this nice big following, is that people will send me ideas all the time. They'll say, hey, you should go check. And 99%, as I'm sure you all know, are bad ideas. They're just like, oh, you should go try my uncle's pizza shop. Like, okay, what's cool about it? I don't know. It's just really good. But like every once in a while, someone says to me something like, oh, my uncle has a massive collection of Abraham Lincoln figurines, as I literally just heard, like, the garage full of them. Like, that's hilarious. I got to go check that out. But somebody told me recently that there was a couple on a local Buy Nothing group in Somerville that was looking for wedding decorations because they were about to get married at Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm like, that's amazing. So I reached out to the bride and I was like, hey, can I interview you about the fact that you're getting married at Chuck E. Cheese? And she was like, oh my God, I know who you are. Do you want to come to the wedding? I was like, sure, yeah, of course. What I didn't expect is, like, they were kind of expecting me to, like, be their videographer there. So at the end, I sent them, like, a whole folder of, like, really terrible vertical video shot on Android. I'm sure that they'll love that. But hey, it's a budget wedding. You get what you pay for. Happy wedding! Happy wedding! I got invited to a wedding at Chuck E. Cheese in Everett, and how could I say no? So here's what happened. Years ago, Chuck E. Cheese posted an April Fool's joke that they now host weddings.
And it's like Chuck E. Cheese, where the mouse can make you a spouse.
That's where Leilani and Kwai Lee come in, a couple MIT grads living in Somerville.
She brings me out of my box, for example, with this wedding.
Which wasn't really supposed to happen.
Oh, our lawyers from corporate want to tell you that this is an April Fool's joke.
But Leilani was like, we're doing this for real.
So I was like, hello, I heard that you guys do weddings now. And they were like, I'm gonna need to put you on hold. And then it was a long hold. And then finally he came back and was like, yeah, I guess you can just book it like a birthday party. Like.
Now for the big question, how much did it cost?
This is a mega fun Chuck E. Cheese package, so it came out to around $800.
And for a wedding, that's like less than the cost of an airhead. Plus, do normal weddings have all-you-can-play passes, or a ticket blaster,
or breakdancing mice, or pizzas with suspiciously mismatched slices?
I always tell people that the best thing about being married is that you don't need to plan a wedding anymore. Booking a caterer or a DJ or a band or figuring out where everyone's going to sit, it's all just extra stress for what's supposed to be the happiest day of your life. Leilani and Kwai Lee figured out a cheat code. They spent less but got so much more, sending everyone home with core memories to grow old with. And you know what they say about the couple that plays together.
She has lots of crazy ideas, and I love to go along with them.
And I'm excited to spend the rest of my life with them.
This is a video, by the way.
Okay.
From a Chuck E. Cheese wedding, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Well, I don't want us to be like the creeping adults at the Chuck E. Cheese, so figured it's time for us to head out.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That one still is blowing up every single day. It got like 3 million on Instagram right now, 2 I think on TikTok, and more. Then there's the other platforms as well. Yeah, a little fun facts. So 99% of the time when you hear music in one of my stories, that's actually me playing. And so in that one, I played guitar, bass, saxophone, keys, like a whole bunch of stuff. Just because I don't want to deal with all the like copyright infringement stuff, I want to post the same video across all the platforms. And I'm like, well, why would I, be paying for these like libraries that are all generic that other companies are going to be paying for when I could like make the exact song that I want? And on top of that, I can, it makes the process more fun for me. Like it adds more time for sure. I banged that song out, I think, in like an hour. But it was so much more fun. And something Dave Jorgensen just said in the keynote, which I have been stressing for years as well, I love that he said this, is like, if it's not fun for you to be making these videos, then you should not expect it to be fun for anyone watching. It's so true. So make the process as fun as you possibly can for yourself. I think this next segment is a good example of that. It's a little historical piece, if you will.
Jail. Burger jail.
Is that a giant hamburger?
If you know what this is, congratulations, you're old. If you don't, time for a history lesson, kids. Let's go.
The year was 1970-something, long before the invention of the skip ad button. Psychedelic burger commercials featuring a clown, a criminal, and a cop had kids begging for a Happy Meal. And after eating, those kids would voluntarily incarcerate themselves in the Big Mac Climber. 1997, McDonald's had quietly disposed of the burger jails for reasons. 1999, we learned the reasons. Over 400 burger jail injuries had gone unreported, and Ronnie was fined $4 million by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. So it was kind of like the cop slide, but for kids. And the cop in this case was an anthropomorphic cheeseburger. But here's the fun part. A few of them survived, which brings us back to this guy.
You're gonna need a tetanus shot when you leave here.
Jay Cavell.
Yeah, so like what we have going on here, we have a frog.
Jay is an artist from Easton, Massachusetts who loves junk.
Whoa, sorry.
Yeah, so that one's not really bolted in.
It started out with a fish. How did it end up like this?
I was talking to a guy, you know, he had it, and it brought me joy and happiness.
So he bought it, and then another and another, but the whole time his collection was missing one major piece.
Remember this guy?
I got this one in upstate Maine. He was just so excited that it was actually going to be enjoyed by the like
30-something men.
Yeah.
What was your wife's reaction?
You know, it was, well, it's
basically it's tolerated, like the zip line going from his house to McDonald Land, or the airplane that he bought and is converting into a treehouse.
Facebook Marketplace was like, you want this? And I was like, wow, you're right, I do.
I should mention that he does have 3 children, but I get the impression that all of this is for a completely different kid, his inner child, who Jay is taking amazing care of.
When I first got it, they said, what are you going to do with that? I said, I'm going to put it there, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to smile, because it makes me happy. So that's what it's all about over here.
From Burger Jail, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Pickle.
Chilling on a skateboard with a boombox.
Exactly.
I love, so that was kind of like 2 stories in one there. But it was a fun one to make. Oh, actually, hold on a sec. I want to see something real quick, like right around here, where we play this.
Voluntarily incarcerate themselves in the Big Mac Climber.
That's me at my birthday party, my 5th birthday party. And that's my neighbor across the street. I was telling her about the story I was working on. She was like, I have a picture of me in that. It's like my favorite picture ever. So that was fun. Yeah, suspenders were cool in the 90s, I'm telling you. Another series I do that's really popular that gets hundreds of thousands of views every time, and in some cases millions, is this series where I show up in random towns with 0 plan and just try to find something cool. And this all came about because someone left a comment on one of my videos, just go to Bellingham, try to find something cool. And I was like, that's a terrible pitch, and I'm gonna do it. I even brought it up in the meeting. I was like, somebody said I can't find something cool in Bellingham. And they're just, my editor's like, okay, I don't really see the vision, but you know what? Go for it, Matt, have fun, see what happens. And it ended up doing, I mean, the video Bellingham was fine. I think the whole thing is like grown over the years, but the point is like people were all getting up in the comments being like, when are you gonna do my town? When's this town, this town? And it's just been a fun project. So here's just a random example of going to Leominster and some of the adventure I found there.
To meet cool people in Leominster, but I never expected to find my new favorite Massachusetts historical figure. No, it's not Johnny Appleseed, even though he was a real person.
And no, it's not Don Featherstone, the guy who invented the plastic lawn flamingo, which, by the way, is everywhere in town. And they throw a big plastic flamingo festival every year, and instead of Groundhog Day, they have a flamingo predict the weather.
You guys are all out of your mind.
Oh yeah, and that's their mayor, Dean Mazzarella.
You want to take a ride in my car?
Sure.
It's not him either, but we need to talk about this guy for a minute.
You studying over there?
He has been mayor for 31 years.
Everybody's a legend in this town. Under, lefty, righty, chicken, mumbles.
And I usually try to avoid politicians for stories like this because they're just going to give me some PR speech, but this guy's different.
I'm going to take you to Monsterland.
Monsterland?
People have seen Bigfoot down there. People swear on it and double pinky swear on it. Then you know it's valid. So we're entering Monsterland.
This is Monsterland.
Looks a lot different now. It's got a Walmart. And there are actually police reports about it. Many people have come in as non-believers and have left as believers.
And it only got spookier from there.
See the cemetery here?
Yeah, it's
I was in the 6th grade. Billy Wallace came to school and said a spaceship landed inside the cemetery.
What?
So I was a little skeptical, but then I read the police report.
He could go on all day.
They always said there was ghosts inside City Hall.
But that's a story for another time. Speaking of cemeteries, that is where we find my new favorite Massachusetts historical figure, Joseph Palmer, persecuted for wearing the beard.
Joseph was a veteran of the War of 1812, but by the time he moved to the area, he had a full beard, and the people in town were not okay with that. They used to throw stones at him, break the windows in his house. His pastor at church wouldn't even give him communion.
In 1830, he got tackled by 4 dudes who tried to forcibly shave him. So he stabbed one of them, got fined, didn't pay it, and went to jail.
But the story's only just starting to get crazy. In jail, his fellow inmates also tried to shave his beard forcefully, but he refused to leave jail unless he got a proclamation saying that it was okay to have a full beard, which he didn't get. So the prison guards got him out the only way they could. They tied him to a chair and threw him out.
He went on to become a local celebrity and abolitionist, which rules, and now he's buried here in legendary Leominster.
Home of the biggest apple in New England. I think technically this is Lancaster.
Quick rapid fire of other things I saw. Pasta Land, this guy, a shop that sells coffee and flags, a random follower who convinced me to go surprise her husband for his birthday.
You kidding me?
Hey! Also a mall, a diner, whatever this is, and most importantly, a whole lot of hometown pride.
That's actually the Featherstone Flamingo, and then I had to pay salute to Johnny Appleseed as well.
It's the invention of Tupperware was here in Leominster.
Come and smell some nice fresh green grass.
Navigating to Leominster.
What do you like about Leominster?
Nothing really.
In Leominster, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
It's my favorite spot in the city.
Is this your house?
No.
That guy, so again, like, I try to avoid politicians when I go to these towns, but like this guy, I just knew he wasn't going to disappoint. And the fact that he didn't tell me where we were going, I just got in his car and he's like, I'm taking you to where we saw Bigfoot. Oh, and he knows it's true because people double pinky swear on it. So like, where else in America are you going to find a mayor like that? So that was too fun. But again, it just like, I'm trying not to tell a story the same exact way every time, right? Like you may be picking up on these subtle differences, like the historical reenactment there and stuff like that. Something I had never done and something I haven't really done since. But it's fun to constantly be trying new things. And going back to what I was saying with the skateboarding earlier, it's seeing storytelling in this case, not for what it is or what it's supposed to be, but for what it can be. And so I had to kind of think that way when I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Southie this past year, or actually, yeah, so not this past week, but like last year, I went and I've been covering this parade for like 10 years, and it's like the same thing every time, the same, let's go, yeah, yelling in my microphone, messing up my headphones. And so I was like, how can I report on this and make it different, you know, in a way that's different from any other reporter in town because everyone's covering the parade. And so this is what I came up with.
If you're not in Boston right now, you're not doing it right. This is where all the action is. We hate Mac Jones. I love Boston. All right, let's go. Yeah! Hey! Let's go, buddy. We're driving right now.
What's your question? What are you asking? Nothing?
Hello. What's the question?
It's Green Day, baby. We're here to rock and roll.
Well, basically, I'm being interviewed by someone who doesn't know how to ask a question.
Bro.
Having a great day.
Ireland, yeah.
Can I say that I love my boyfriend after so he doesn't break up with me?
Woo! Jason Tatum, baby.
Having fun! Having fun. What's your name? Who are you?
Who are you with? Like.
Yeah, go back!
St. Patrick's Day Parade, how you doing? Hey, I'm Matt Shearer.
I am starstruck. Matt Shearer!
Let's go, St. Patty's Day! WBC News Radio! It's beautiful out here in Boston.
Okay, thank you. You can put me down.
Welcome to Boston! How's your mother? We're in the South End!
Wait, this isn't the South End.
Rabbit!
This is Matt Shearer. This is not the South End.
How are we?
And I can confidently say that I think that captures what it's like to go to the parade much more than actually focusing on the parade itself. So again, that one did really, really well. And I love it. So again, it's like you're watching all these videos. Again, they're all so different. Like I might have said like 8 words in that entire video. But some of them went viral, and so what's the formula? Who knows, right? Again, just who effing knows? You just kind of have to put out a story that you believe in, and maybe it'll take off, maybe it won't. But you can't get too obsessed with the numbers here, especially because the algorithm is something that's just not in your control, right? Like blaming the algorithm for a video flopping is like blaming the refs for your favorite sports team losing. Like, yeah, maybe there's some bad calls here and there, and that's frustrating. But at the end of the day, your team needs to show up and put up points on offense and, be a brick wall on defense. And sometimes that just doesn't happen. I have a friend who's like a big social media mogul in New York City. He's behind a lot of really huge, successful shows. And we're talking about this, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, our mentality is if we put up a video and it doesn't do that well, maybe we just made a bad video. And like, we just accept that and move on. But you also have to be really careful not to take like the wrong lessons from these too, right? Not say like, oh, this video did really, really well. I'm going to do this over and over and over again. Because then what'll happen is you end up with one of those accounts that I'm sure we all follow, accounts like this where they just do the same thing, right? Like they had a viral moment and they try to replicate that over and over and over, and it's just not happening, and eventually you unfollow. You want to constantly be evolving and pushing the limits and seeing what you're doing not for what it is, but for what it can be. So continue to push yourself, get outside of your comfort zone, try new things you've never done before. There's big value in failure, right? I mean, I always say like, it's like, oh, I took the L on that one, but L also stands for learning, right? Like the L's are good. One of the worst videos I ever made, I decided rather than talking and narrating it, I was gonna sing through the whole thing. And I can't sing, and it did terrible and stuff, but the process of making it was fun. I learned some things along the way, and it got me out of this funk that I felt like I was in, where I was just kind of getting a little burnt out and going through the motions, because I'm putting a lot of time and effort into these videos, even though they look kind of very like hastily slapped together. Like I'm actually putting a lot of thought into it, which is really frustrating because one of the videos, one of my most viral videos, which is in the like tens of millions of views, is one that I put literally zero effort into. It was just one that I tweeted out because it was just a funny moment from the Celtics victory parade here.
Hit a baby.
Shout out to Mom of the Year right there, who never put her phone down, but was still wiping down And so again, it's just like, there's not a great answer for like, what is the perfect video length, the perfect time to post. Like I've put stuff up at like 2 in the morning that has done really well, and I wake up and I'm like, oh my God. But of course, then I've posted at like the, supposedly peak times, and nothing's really happened. At the end of the day, I think just a great story, well told, that's interesting throughout, hooky in the beginning, interesting both visually and audio-wise. That's gonna go far. And sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay too. Sometimes like TikTok is really prudish about certain things. Like that video I was telling you earlier that was 4 minutes long, that's, got like 500,000 on Instagram. It's got like 8,000 on TikTok, and that's just because TikTok picked up on some keywords and determined it to be like sensitive content, which is so frustrating, but there's just nothing you can do with that. You have to live with that. So you have to post stuff really believing in it and confident that if somebody does come across your grid and decide to click on that, it's something that you stand behind and you're proud of. So I hope that like, and we'll take questions and like I can play more examples like as I think of them and stuff, but what I really want for the big takeaway to be here is like, you know, we think of the title here, going viral. Is this what I have to do to go viral? Well, I mean, depends on what you're defining this as. If you're saying like, talk like me and dress like me and present like me, like, I don't know, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but being yourself is the best thing you can possibly be. When I started this job, I told you at the beginning, I had no reporting experience. So like all I knew about being a reporter was like, I don't know, the people I saw on TV who got all dressed up and were being very, authority kind of figures who all talked like this. But the thing is, people who are watching these videos are watching on their phones, sitting by themselves. I'm like their companion. I'm their buddy. Like I'm going to have a conversation with them. If I were talking like that to my friend in the front seat of their car, they'd push me out on the side of 495 and I'd have to walk home from Clinton, Massachusetts. And no one wants to do that. Except actually that's not true because Clinton is like several miles from the highway, which is really frustrating. But the point is, once I got rid of the button-ups and the slacks and stopped caring about how I looked and sounded and just did me, that's when things really started to take off. And that's when I started to grow this audience. And people came across my videos and they said, oh, that's interesting. It's different from what I've seen on this app. And I want to see more of it. And I'll follow. And I'm really grateful for that. In a very short amount of time, we grew and very naturally and organically over 200,000 followers on TikTok for again, a 100-year-old AM news radio station. One of my favorite comments we've ever gotten was from someone saying, when did WBZ get cool? My grandpa used to make me listen to this station. So now what I hear all the time is people saying like, oh my gosh, my mom and I talk about your videos all the time. Like we're somehow bridging the gaps in the generations, which is super cool. And I say we because it started out all just me on the account, but much like the Washington Post TikTok team, we've started expanding the universe, right? Adding more people to come in and give their own unique voice. Some of them are doing this stuff for the very first time, so they're kind of learning as they're going, but I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in learning by doing. Again, the Ramones had to figure out how to play their instruments to change the world. I had to figure out video editing to do it. That's the only way you're ever going to get good at it or do anything. So to those of you who are in the room who are students, I always say the same advice, like, you have something I didn't have when I was a kid in the 90s or a teenager in the 2000s. Like, you have all the resources you need right here to start making really great stuff and telling really great stories. Yeah, it's nice to have the fancy flashy microphones and nice cameras and lighting setups and everything, but you don't need it. Like, at least not to get started. And also, there's zero expectation when somebody's swiping through TikTok, zero expectation that they're going to come across something and be like, wow, that looks really nice. I will say this as the resident radio guy in the room, although GBH has some representation here too today. Don't neglect your audio. Like, seriously, bad audio is noticeable and it will pull someone out of the immersion of feeling like they're along with you for the adventure and the journey. As opposed to good audio, which you don't even notice. It's just there. It's in the background. It's smooth and it flows you and carries you from one clip to the other. I'm doing a lot of jump cuts and choppy stuff, breaking all the rules of journalism. But like, when the audio's nice and smooth and you can hear the ambiance there and you feel like you're there. If you close your eyes, you can kind of picture what's going on. So I love that. And yeah, again, like, it's really important not to see this as a formula. I'm going to do something for the millennials in the room. You know the band Weezer? Everyone always loves their first 2 albums, right? And then after that, everyone's like, it sucked, it sucks. They've had hits here and there. But what changed after those first 2 albums is that Rivers Cuomo decided he had a formula for songwriting. He was like, I figured it out. He now has spreadsheets. He's talked about this in interviews. He has spreadsheets where he keeps track of like different chord progressions and, rhythms and things he's used in different songs. And it's just like, I don't know, that's when things started falling off. But like Blue Album, they were young and fresh and just being honest and an open book. Pinkerton, he was living down the street at Harvard, going to Harvard, at Harvard, Massachusetts, Harvard in Cambridge, right over the river. And he was just, that album was basically his diary, to the point where he cringes when people talk about it now, and he doesn't like playing those songs, but the fans love it because it's the most authentic and genuine. So if you can be as vulnerable as possible like that, then you're going to be creating Blue Albums and Pinkertons for the rest of your career. I talk a lot in music analogies because that's the kind of stuff that really inspires me. Young people ask me all the time, like, who are my journalistic influences and stuff like that? And I really don't have a great answer for that because, to be honest, I'm pulling influences from all different artistic mediums, like comedians like Nathan Fielder or John Wilson or Eric Andre. Like, what are they doing in their videos that like tells a story but is just so absurd and funny? And I love that stuff. Or like skateboarders like Rodney Mullen, the godfather of skateboarding. I literally listened to interviews with him on the way to give speeches like this because he's so inspiring, the way he talks about, like, you know, doing stuff that nobody else has ever done before. He invented the kickflip and the heel flip and the impossible. He was the first to ollie. Like, skateboarding wouldn't be where it is today without him. So if you want to be like Tony Hawk, great. He's a legend. He's a brand. But Rodney Mullen is the one that really changed the game. You should all be trying to be like that. That's the kind of thing that inspires me. And musicians, like I said before too. I love taking lessons from musicians and trying to write, you know, songs, and think of these like punk songs. You know, sometimes they're short and sweet and fast. Other times there's a little bit more build up, but the perfect length is as long as it needs to be. So with that, any questions? Yeah.
I think everyone would agree that your humor is so awesome, and that
Thank you.
people are constantly laughing at. Even if I've seen one of your videos 10 times, I laugh every time.
Thank you.
And part of that magic is your ability to be MOS with people, which is like, for a lot of us who are in the field, can be tough. You know, you have deadlines, you have to somebody, you're like, who looks friendly, who looks like they could be funny. Can you share any techniques or observations that you make in the field to find those MOS?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So my biggest thing when I go out to collect interviews with people on the street is to have the expectation that they're going to say no. Because let's be honest, most people have places to be. If they're out on the sidewalk, most people aren't just out there strolling for a walk, although those people are out there and you got to find those people. It's important. But, you know, I'll approach someone and say, hey, can I interview you real quick? They'll be like, no. And honestly, that's normal. They don't know who I am, why I'm putting a camera in their face and a microphone, how I'm going to use the audio. Like, yeah, I'll tell them it's for WBZ News Radio and stuff. But even still, like, do I have an agenda? Am I going to make them look stupid? I don't know. So no problem. No hard feelings if you want to walk away. I also find that with the older crowd, if I say WBZ News Radio, they're like, oh, yeah. But if with the younger crowd, I'm like, you're going to be on TikTok. They're like, yeah, let's go. So kind of knowing that. And also when you see someone and like you were kind of describing like, oh, I like that person would be great. Don't put people up on a pedestal like that, you know, because you're just setting yourself up to be disappointed. And you're going to be, you know, when they say no, you're like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? Go to areas where there's lots and lots of people, right? Lots of foot traffic. Because if you're on a street and only one person is walking by and you're like, I need to talk to this person, it's going to be so awkward when they say no and they're like, okay. They walk by and you're just standing there, no one around. I get that sometimes you're covering a story and it needs to be a specific street or a specific neighborhood and you got to work with what you got. But the more time you can possibly put into interviewing people, the better. And getting as many different perspectives as possible. Demographically, right? Age, ethnicity, income, stuff like that. Because you just never know, like the different perspectives. My favorite things are the people who say things that are just so out of left field that I never could have come up with those on my own. Like the guy in Bill Ricco with Market Basket who started going off on a rant about how dinosaurs went extinct because they saw the future and that there was only going to be 2 Market Baskets on Boston Road in Bill Ricco. Like that's amazing. That's brilliant. That's so different. I never could have come up with that. And the other thing is I heard this talked about earlier today in Mirabel's keynote, which is like, we're competing against the whole world. We're not just competing against other TV stations, radio stations, newspapers anymore. We're competing against everything people could possibly be doing with their time. So every quote needs to be worth their time. If you're doing a story on a heat wave in Boston, do you really want someone to be like, yeah, it's hot, gotta turn on the AC? Like, is that really better than Wordle? No, So just like, take the time, as much time as you possibly can within the parameters of your deadline to talk to as many people as you possibly can and find that gold. So, yeah.
So to that point, can you let us know the last few videos, how long you spent on each?
Yeah, that's a good question. So like something like that St. Patty's Day parade video, I mean, that one I turned around pretty quickly because it's like the parade is that day. I wanted to be up as quickly as possible. Also, I didn't have any audio to edit, It's just like I didn't say anything in the video. So I just kind of arranged that pretty quickly. But other examples like Lemonster took a while, unfortunately, because basically my workflow with one of those town visits is like I'll spend an entire work shift in the town, like going around. Sometimes it's quicker than others. Sometimes like within the first like 3 hours, I'll have something great. Other times it takes like the full 8-hour shift to be out there exploring because like you want to hit as many different places and talk to as many different people as you can. And then the next day I'll have to like go through all that audio and edit and stuff. So a story like that will probably take like 2 or 3 days, which is not great. The newsroom would rather I crank them out quicker than that. But I think they've seen proof in what I've done that they're willing to grant me that extra time, which I'm so grateful for. And I think there's some value in that as well. Like I know people, the Washington Post TikTok team just referenced Morning Brew. I know Dan Toomey from there. He grew up in Cohasset, Massachusetts, and he and I were talking about all this. And he's found the sweet spot for him posting content is just 3 posts a week, I know there's a school of thought where you want to post every single day to keep the algorithm happy and stuff like that. But what I see, the difference in what I'm getting for responses to my videos, when I'm posting too much, I'm getting less interaction, less engagement. Maybe building more of a following faster, maybe getting more followers, but like, the videos are getting way more likes, way more shares and stuff. And like, I want people to see a video and think like, oh, Matt just posted, I have to watch this or save it for later or something, as opposed to being like, oh, it's another Matt video, whatever. I'll catch one tomorrow. I want it to be a little bit more like of an appointment than that, if you will. So there's value in posting every day for sure, but there's also value in spreading it out a little bit. Sometimes I'll only have time to get to like 1 per week, and I know that's not great, but like that Chuck E. Cheese wedding, that was the only video I posted that week, and now it's over 3 million views. So, you don't have to, and plus I work in a newsroom, luckily, where other people are posting as well, so I've got that going for me.
Other people give you ideas, but like, how do you go about finding your sources for your ideas? Seem like incredibly niche to the location.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love that. Well, I grew up here in Massachusetts for sure. So like, I think I'm picking up on little nuances and subtleties about life here that go beyond just Dunkin' Donuts and Market Basket, even though I obviously cover those too. But like, I'll be out and about. My job is to be in different towns every day, and I'll like observe things, and people will tell me things, and I'm like, oh, that could be a good story. I mean, the tunnels in Boston, what's behind those doors? I think about that every time I'm stuck in a tunnel. Also, every time since I watched Independence Day and they went in there and there was the explosion and everything. I was like, whoa, I want to go back there. Luckily, MassDOT was on board to take me. So I love tapping into those questions that so many people have, but no one's ever answered, maybe even no one's ever asked. So that's fun for me. And again, like you mentioned earlier too, people just sending me ideas. I love that. It's like, because I can't be everywhere all at once, but other people have eyes and ears. And here's an example of one of those. So somebody told me like, hey, this guy from this liquor store in Beverly, Massachusetts is really funny. He saves all the fake IDs and like collects them and like shames the people on social media. And I was like, okay, well, so this could be pretty boring or it could not, but I'm going to give it a chance. And I'm glad I did because the guy was great.
Hello, I am a fully grown adult. Would like to buy some alcoholic beverages if that's okay.
This guy has ruined more college parties than an acoustic guitar.
See this? This is how you get prepared.
He's the roadblock to the ragers, a car block to the keggers.
Never do cardio, just straight lifting.
When you're in Beverly and you got a fake ID, don't mess with Pre. And he's the owner of One Stop Market, a liquor store with a couple of chairs, couple of newspapers, and thousands of fake IDs.
It's like Pokemon cards right here, all these McLovins. Just gotta collect them all, This, I mean, you hand me that, I I don't even.
Sometimes he doesn't even need to see the card, just the drinks they're carrying.
No 30-year-olds walking up with a red Downy slushy, you know, like this is not happening. Sunny D, that's I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking delicious. It's so good.
And when you're caught, he's no snitch, but expect him to shame you on social media.
It's like, oh, how could you, bro? I'm getting the Coors. Not on my watch, boy. I guess he has some cojones. He was a lax, bro. So you know how that goes. They got their flows. They think they're so cool. You know, if you booze, you lose. Everybody knows drinking a beer is a gateway drug to the to the pipe.
I don't know about that, but many have tried, many have failed, sometimes more than once.
Twice. Same chick twice. She had 2 of them, and I got her 2 in a row. Makes me feel young, you know what I'm saying? Catching those fake IDs. Sometimes I, sniff them and I feel young again, you know? Pledge allegiance to the flag, indivisible liberties. You can drink non-alcoholic beers?
I've never done it, but I could.
Okay, let's drink a non-alcoholic beer.
All right. Cheers. Oh, God, dude. That is nasty. In Beverly, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
You're doing a very good job.
I am?
And I think you should go national.
Really?
Just saying.
Thank you.
You're
You know who I am?
No.
Okay. So that came from someone, and I'm so glad, because I loved that guy. He was just so fun. Yeah.
So I definitely love your energy, and I think a lot of the content that you produce is what a lot of people are looking for, because they're fatigued by all the serious news and everything. So like that's really great. But I have noticed you don't take yourself too seriously or anything, and then a lot of newsroom do cover a lot of really heavy stories and serious topics. Do you have any tips for, I don't know, being able to bring a little bit of energy, but also in a sensitive way that's respectful?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. I'm showing you all examples of definitely the more offbeat, fun stuff. There have been times where I've had to get into stories that are not so fun. And I think you just need to be as flexible as possible. I'm lucky that I work in a newsroom where we have really talented reporters who cover a lot of the heavier stuff day to day on the air all the time. And that allows me to focus on the more offbeat and the more fun. And the newsroom sees that that's my strength, and so they let me do what I do. I'll show you an example of a more serious story that I do. And actually, you know what? It's kind of long, and we're coming up on a thing, but I'll just give you the basic gist of the story. So some local artists had placed a Prada sign on an abandoned building in Saugus, and it's kind of a joke to that old art installation in the middle of the desert, Prada Marfa. You've probably seen pictures of that. And what was so they're like, the fact that they did that is funny in itself. But everyone in the comments on the pictures and stuff of that building are constantly saying the same things, like, oh my gosh, it's so sad what happened there. It's so tragic. Rest in peace, Valerie, and stuff like that. And the reason is because a few years ago, a random hairdresser from the North Shore put up a video saying that the reason the building is abandoned is because the owner of the store died, and the parents are keeping it there in ugly shape as an FU to the police department for not investigating the story. And it turns out that is completely untrue. And it's all just because of rumors that came out of literally the comments section. People who want more information on stories sometimes, or pictures, will just go right to the comments section and trust whatever the first one they see is. And this is where this whole summit that we're having this weekend is so important, because people are getting their news from social media, right? Whether it's accurate or not. And we as people who understand good quality journalism and work in good, reputable newsrooms with good resources, need to be in those places so that we can kind of clear up. So in order to tell the story about the Prada sign on that abandoned building, I kind of had to address the fact and fiction of that building, and do it in a way that was respectful of the woman who actually did die, which happened 2 towns over in Reading, Massachusetts. So I proved it by showing property records and police records, and I interviewed the mother of the woman who died. And, this whole story was kind of eased into in a fun way, talking about the artist and the Prada sign. We got serious, and we came out of it with a positive message at the end, which is, if you're ever struggling, and whether it be domestic assault or whatever that this poor woman had to go through, there are resources for you. So
I think it's good to be like Play-Doh and be able to mold yourself a little bit. Yeah.
One thing I noticed with these sound bites, it seems like you leave people a lot of room to be comfortable, to kind of say what's on their mind. Now, because one of the worst things as a reporter is like somebody's like bop, 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 bop. So maybe some tips for people who are getting these kind of sound bites is what do you do to make them feel comfortable so they can say things that could be funny or super interesting?
So I'm really lucky. I apologize to everyone here who works in TV because one of the great things about radio is I don't have to carry around a giant camera, you know, and a light setup that can be kind of intimidating to people. Granted, those videos look amazing and you all win Emmys and I don't, so you got that going for you. I'm shooting it all on an Android, right? Vertical video. But the point is I'm standing there like this. My phone is right here. I got a microphone in one hand and I'm making eye contact and I'm talking to them and I'm cracking jokes. I don't have a list of pre-prepared questions in advance. You know, I think for a lot of young people getting into it, like that's a good thing. It's a good crutch to have that in front of you so you don't feel nervous or lost. But eventually you'll want to get rid of that list of questions because what happens is as someone's talking, you're not even listening to them. You're waiting for them to stop talking so you can ask your next question. If you actually engage with people and like ask follow-ups and crack jokes and you're breaking down the barriers. You're no longer this authoritative newsman, you know, and like they feel like you're just a buddy who you can joke around with. And ask a lot of questions, you know, maybe more questions than you normally would in a social setting, but just keep them going as long as you can because the more they talk, the better the answers get, I find. I've been on this side of the room a lot. Is there any over here? Yeah.
I've always really noticed how good the audio is in your videos.
Thank you. Yes, I love that. I've won Murrows for that audio. Thank you.
Are you filing the same thing for radio that you're playing in your videos? And if you are, how do you think about like pitching, scripting, editing?
At first, yeah. At first, I was just, you know, taking the audio from the radio and making it video. But over time, I figured out that doesn't work on, you know, not the same thing doesn't work on radio that works on social media. So I started making these wraps, packages, whatever, specifically for social media. So it's completely reversed itself. It started out radio first, social media second. Then I saw the potential and the power of social media. And now it's social media first and radio second. So I'm taking these social media stories and adapting them for the airwaves. In the case of a story like the Lemonster story, we obviously aren't going to run a 3-minute long thing where we're here, we're there, we're there. I broke it up into different pieces for the radio. I had one story about the mayor showing me Monsterland and a different story about Joseph Palmer who went to jail for having a beard, like stuff like that. Well, he went to jail for stabbing someone who tried to shave his beard. So we're journalists here. I have to be accurate. Yeah.
I wanted to know if you have any like safety tips for being like the sort of man on the street. If you're talking to like 1,000 people a day, you know, someone isn't always going to be a safe person to talk to. So I'm wondering, have you had any situations that didn't end up on camera because the person wasn't exactly too friendly?
That's a great question. I would first of all say don't do what I do and get in strangers' cars. I'm kind of flexing my male privilege there a little bit, I guess. But I mean, I generally will talk to people for a while before and like feel them out before I get, you know. And a lot of times, like maybe I'll have a trainee with me that day, and so there's 2 of us, you know. We can take them if we need to. No, I have had a taser pulled on me once. But that was not for this job. That was my last job with the old Top 40 station where I was doing like a bit and like a joke, and like the guy was not having the joke, and he's just like, you better watch what you say out here, and he pulls it out, and I didn't recognize what it was. I was like, why'd you pull out your vape? Like, what is it? And the next thing he knows, he hits it, zzz, zzz, and literally you hear me on the microphone, oh, that's a taser. And he was like, yeah, you better watch what you say out here. I'm like, okay, see ya. You're good, man. You're good. We're good. Just be, I don't know. It's good to have an exit strategy a little bit. And also when you're in an area where there's lots of people around, I feel like you're a lot safer. You know, lots of witnesses. And if you need to pull yourself away, if people can kind of see there's a commotion going on, just, okay, have a good day. See you later. Just, it doesn't matter. You don't need to press people. I mean, if you're doing like a real investigative piece, I don't know, if you're Mike Beaudet, you want to press people, you want to follow, you know. But otherwise, it's okay to pull yourself out of that situation. Sorry, yeah, hey.
So I'm noticing like you have a lot of ground to cover, like you go to all these different towns across Massachusetts and New England, which is great. Do you have any suggestions for doing these sorts of like community engaging pieces at like a smaller scale, like in one city or one neighborhood even? Like, is there any, do you have any suggestions on how to find stories within smaller area?
Yeah, I think just getting out and talking to people. You know, the whole that's the whole thing with those town visits is like I don't have a story in mind when I show up, and I talk to people and like they tell me what the drama is in town and what the cool spots are, and like then like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I have a story. It's cool. So I think it's good. There have been days where I've been like, it's a dead news day. Like I'm waiting to hear back from someone about an interview. I have nothing to work on. So those days are fewer and far between now. Nowadays, I have way too much to work on. But when those rare opportunities do happen, I'll literally just go into Boston, walk around and start talking to people and see who I meet, see what I find. And more often than not, I end up finding a really interesting story. You'd be surprised how many fascinating stories just the people you walk by every single day have to tell. And you would never know it if you didn't ask them. So I think just going out there and asking and say, hey, can I talk to you about what it's like to be in this community, what you love about this community, what's going on in your life, stuff like that. That's classic journalism, you know? I think we're out of time now, but guys, thank you so much. I hope you got something out of this. I hope it was fun. And yeah, see storytelling for what it can be, not for what it is. Take that with you. Thank you.